Assalamualaikum and hi, we are from Group 2. We'll present about Mercy Malaysia. Next, I will introduce our team members. My name is Muhammad Shakimi bin Zaidi.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Hani bin Daud.
Hi, my name is Amir Lokman bin Ahmad Rosli.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Syakin Abi bin Muhammad Noor.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Arifin Fitri bin Sadan.
I will show you the table of content. I will introduce about Mercy Malaysia. Mercy Malaysia is an organization that founded in 1999 by Tan Sri Dr. Jamila Mahmud, a doctor who wanted to provide a humanitarian aid beyond borders. Mercy Malaysia start with a one woman vision, Tan Sri Dr. Jamila Mahmud. She believed Malaysian could contribute to humanitarian work globally, not just local. Their first mission was in the Kosovo, a war-torn region, which immediately placed Mercy Malaysia on the international stage. The vision of the Mercy Malaysia is to be outstanding in the delivery, medical and humanitarian aid. Next, the mission is to provide care guided by humanitarian, fairness, neutrality and independence. Mercy Malaysia also collaborate with another organisation like the government, NGO and international body like the UN. Their mission and vision is emphasize neutrality and independence. This is important because in a conflict zone, NGO must be trusted by all sides. Mercy Malaysia neutrality allow them to deliver aid without being seen as political. Over the year, they have collaborated with many organizations to deliver medical and humanitarian aid.
So, I will explain 3 current management challenge of Mercy Malaysia. First, adapting to the increasing complexity and frequency of humanitarian crises. It's like we are dealing with multi-layered disaster, such as climate change causing flood and drought, pandemic like COVID-19 and conflict in places like Gaza or Syria. Mercy Malaysia must adapt to this complex situation. Second is funding constraints and donor dynamics. Funding is another challenge. NGO depends on donation, but donor fatigue is real. People may donate during big disaster, but long-term funding is harder to secure. Corporate sponsorship also change with economic condition. And for the last one, lack of human resource and volunteers. Human resources are equally critical. Volunteers are the backbone of Mercy Malaysia, but managing them is difficult. Volunteers may lack training or they may leave after short periods. This creates instability in operation. Imagine trying to run a medical mission with half-trained staff. It affects efficiency and safety. So, what the importance of applying management principle? First of all, they must improve efficiency and performance, like optimizing resources, streamlining processes, and establishing clear, specialized roles to enhance productivity and run operations smoothly. Next, better decision making. Systematic approach and clear guidelines for managers to make informed, scientific, and objective decisions with facing complex situations. And lastly, effective administration. Designing the organizational structure, defining roles and responsibility, and establishing workflow to ensure tasks are complete efficiently and without duplication.
Decision making is the cognitive process of choosing a course of action from 2 or more alternatives to achieve the desired outcome. The process of making choices by identifying a decision, gathering information, and asserting alternative resolution. Okay, which is decision making in Mercy Malaysia is a structured cognitive process that involves identifying the need for a decision, gathering relevant information, assessing possible alternatives, and choosing the most effective course of action to achieve humanitarian goals. The organization begins by recognizing situations that require action, such as responding to disaster or allocating resources. Then collects data through field assessment, stakeholder input, and resource evaluation. Alternatives are carefully weighed based on impact, feasibility, and alignment with Mercy Malaysia's mission of impartial humanitarian aid. Once the best option is selected, it's applied through. mobilization of volunteer coordination of logistics, and communication with partners, followed by evaluation of outcomes to ensure accountability and continued improvement in future decision making. And next, importance of decision making in Mercy Malaysia. Emergency response and early recovery is one of the points for this topic. During disaster, Mercy Malaysia provide immediate medical care, food, water and shelter. Mercy Malaysia also organizes short-term help program during the emergency and early recovery phases to meet immediate needs. For the next one, which is long-term development and risk reduction, which is we do have sustainable development, risk reduction and health-related development. For the first one, long-term development in Mercy Malaysia focuses on sustainable development by building resilient communities that can withstand future challenges while improving overall quality of life. Beyond immediate disaster relief, Mercy Malaysia invests in programs such as health system strengthening, community-based disaster risk reduction, mental health and psychosocial support, and capacity building initiatives that empower local population to manage their own recovery and growth. This effort emphasizes sustainability by promoting education, training and partnership that reduce dependency on external aid, encourage environmental responsibility and ensure that resources are used efficiently. Through this approach, Mercy Malaysia not only addresses current humanitarian needs but also lays the foundation for lasting social, economic and environmental stability in vulnerable communities. For the second one is risk reduction in Mercy Malaysia is a proactive approach aimed at minimizing the impact of disaster before they occur by strengthening community resilience and preparedness. The organization focuses on identifying potential hazards, assessing vulnerabilities, and implementing strategies that reduce risk to lives and livelihoods. This includes community-based disaster risk reduction programs, public awareness campaigns, training sessions, and capacity building initiatives that empower local communities to respond effectively to emergencies. Mercy Malaysia also collaborates with government agencies, schools, and other NGOs to promote safer practices, improve infrastructure, and integrate disaster risk reduction into long-term development planning. By prioritizing prevention and preparedness, Mercy Malaysia ensures that communities are better equipped to withstand disaster, recover more quickly, and sustain their development efforts in the face of future challenges. And for the last one, which is health-related development, in Mercy Malaysia focuses on strengthening healthcare systems and improving access to essential health services for vulnerable communities, both in disaster-affected areas and in long-term development contexts. The organization implements programs such as mobile clinics, maternal and child health initiatives, mental health and psychosocial support, and disease prevention campaigns to address immediate and ongoing health needs. Mercy Malaysia also invests in capacity building by training local healthcare workers, supporting infrastructure development, and promoting public health education to empower communities to take charge of their own well-being. By integrating health-related development into its humanitarian mission, Mercy Malaysia not only responds to urgent medical needs but also ensures sustainable improvement in healthcare delivery, resilience, and overall community health outcomes. For the next topic, which is current decision-making challenges, the organization faces various challenges including funding constraints, security issues in operational areas. For the first one, funding constraints are one of the major challenges faced by Mercy Malaysia as a humanitarian organization because its operation relies heavily on donations, grants and sponsorship to carry out emergency response, recovery and long-term development programs. Limited or inconsistent funding can restrict the scale and speed of relief efforts, making it difficult to provide adequate medical care, food, water and shelter during disasters. It also affects the sustainability of health-related and risk reduction programs, as well as long-term community development initiatives. In addition, competition for donor support among NGOs, economic downturns, and shifting donor priorities can further reduce available resources. These financial limitations force Mercy Malaysia to make difficult decisions about prioritizing projects, managing operational costs, and seeking innovative fundraising strategies to ensure that humanitarian aid continues to reach vulnerable communities effectively. For the security issues in operational areas present a significant challenge for Malaysia because humanitarian missions often take place in unstable or high-risk environments affected by conflict, political unrest, or natural disaster. This condition can expose staff and volunteers to threats such as violence, theft, restricted access, or unsafe infrastructure, which is not only endanger their safety but also disrupt the delivery of aid. Security concerns may limit mobility, delay the distribution of medical care, food, and shelter, and hinder coordination with local partners. To address these challenges, Malaysia must implement strict safety protocols, conduct risk assessment, and collaborate with local authorities and international organizations to ensure secure access to affected communities. Despite this measure, unpredictable security situations remain a constant obstacle, requiring careful decision-making to balance humanitarian needs with the safety of personnel and resources. So, for the next topic, which is recommendation, which is rational decision-making model. For the first one is prioritization of life-saving intervention, and also total disaster risk management, which is TDRM. For the first one, resources allocation is focused on the most critical areas to alleviate suffering and save lives, which is the first one is rapid needs assessment, immediate deployment of resources, coordinate with stakeholders, humanitarian development nexus approach, and also strategic planning for sustainability. Let's go through of it for each one. For the first one, for rapid needs assessment, which is Malaysia conducts quick evaluation in disaster zones to identify the most urgent requirements such as food, clean water, shelter, and medical care. This ensures that interventions are evidence-based and targeted to the most vulnerable population. And the second one is immediate deployment of resources. Teams and supplies are mobilized swiftly to affected areas, which is they provide for medical relief, emergency supplies, and psychosocial support are prioritized to stabilize communities in the critical early hours. And the next one is coordination with stakeholders. Malaysia works closely with local authorities, international partners, and community leaders to avoid duplication and maximize impact. This coordination ensures that interventions are seamless and complementary across different humanitarian actors. The next one is humanitarian development nexus approach. For this one, while focusing on urgent life-saving measures, Malaysia also integrate long-term recovery and resilience building. This means that interventions are not just reactive but also lay the groundwork for sustainable development. And the last one is strategic planning for sustainability. The 2020 to 2023 strategic plan emphasizes resilience, inclusivity, and cross-sectoral approaches, which is life-saving intervention are prioritized within a broader framework that considers health systems, disaster preparedness, and community empowerment. Let's go through a bit to the total disaster risk management, which is TDRM. This framework approach and guided by core humanitarian principle is emphasizes a proactive, evidence-based approach to risk reduction and preparedness. And the process is which is started with risk identification and assessment. After that, risk reduction and mitigation, and go through with preparedness and capacity building, emergency response, recovery and rehabilitation, and also the last one, monitoring and evaluation. So for the risk identification and assessment, is conduct hazard mapping and vulnerable analysis at community level, which is use participatory tools, which is like surveys, focus groups, workshop, to capture local knowledge. And also for the identify high risk population, which is children, elderly, marginalized groups. And after that is risk reduction and mitigation. This is for implement community-based disaster risk management, which is CBDRM programs. This one for strengthen infrastructure, which is safe shelter, resilient health facilities. This one for promote livelihood diversification to reduce economic vulnerability. And the third one is preparedness and capacity building. This one for train local volunteer in first aid, evacuation and emergency response, and also establish early warning system and evacuation plans, and also conduct simulation exercises and drills to test readiness. And for the fourth, for the emergency response, Deploy rapid medical and humanitarian teams when disasters strike, which is prioritize for life-saving intervention, which is healthcare, water, sanitation and shelter, and also coordinate with government, agencies and international partners for efficiency. And for the last one is recovery and rehabilitation. Mana the last one, bodoh? And next is Assalam. And the next one is recovery and rehabilitation. This one for support communities and rebuilding homes, schools and clinics. This is for provide psychosocial support to address trauma and also integrate recovery with long-term development goals, which is education, health system. And the last one is monitoring and evaluation. This one is for threat effectiveness and intervention through community feedback, adjust strategies based on lessons learned from past disaster, share knowledge via Mercy Malaysia Living Labs and training hubs.
Hi, it's me again. I also want to talk about leadership in Mercy Malaysia. Leadership can defined as a process to influence, guiding and directing the behavior of others towards the achievement of specific goal. Leadership also have an importance to all staff. The important is to motivate people, creating a shared vision and fostering teamwork and collaboration. This can effect to achieve more goal and make organization more efficiently. Okay, next I will talk about leadership issue in Mercy Malaysia. First is the weak leadership communication. Weak leadership communication can lead to misunderstanding, unclear instruction and reduced motivation that can cause inefficiency in operation. Second is poor volunteer and staff management. Poor volunteer and staff management can affect the ineffective deployment of volunteer, lack of proper training and preparation, and high turnover among volunteer and staff management. Firstly, I will explain about misunderstanding in operation. When leader don't have a good communication, this can team members may interpret instruction differently, field staff might don't understand the mission, priority and resources allocation. This can impact the misunderstanding, lead to mistake in the emergency relief, duplication of tasks and gap in the service delivery, where slow down Mercy Malaysia humanitarian mission. Next is unclear instruction from leadership. Unclear instruction from leadership can make confused about role and responsibility, uncertain about timeless, produce and reporting requirement. Team taking action based on assumption rather than confirm directive. The unclear instruction can give impact of operation delay, inconsistent decision making and decrease effectiveness during crisis situation, where clarity is crucial to reduce motivation among staff and volunteers. Weak leadership communication can cause emotional and psychological effects such as the feeling undervalued and undersupport among a staff, and also perceiving leadership as unresponsive or disconnected from field realities. This can give an impact such as staff and volunteer may lose motivation, show lowest commitment or even withdraw from mission. This is a seriously harming Mercy Malaysia action. Second issue is poor volunteer and management. In a poor volunteer and management is the ineffective deployment of volunteer. Poor management often result in the volunteer being placed in a role that do not match their skill or experience. Overstaffing in some mission and understaffing in the others, also delay in assigning tasks during urgent situation. This can give impact to reduce the efficiency of field operation and cost protection among volunteers who feel their ability are fully don't use. Next is a lack of training and preparation. Weak leadership sometimes can lead to an incomplete briefing before mission. Secondly, insufficient training on safety, medical protocol and humanitarian standard. And lastly, no volunteer not receiving mentorship or guidance. This can give impact to unprepared volunteers may make mistakes, feel overwhelmed or lose confidence during mission. Lastly is a high turn-off of volunteer and staff management. Poor management can contribute to volunteer leaving after 1 or 2 missions. Can affect staff and volunteer in Malaysia. Second is difficult to maintain a stable, experienced team. Lastly is extra time and resource spent to recruit no volunteer. This can give an impact to lack of experience, personal weakness, and organisation richness and quality of service in Malaysia.
Next, I will go to the recommended leadership style for Mercy Malaysia. It is certain that every organization will have a problem and weakness in their organization, such as poor in communication. So we suggest the operated leadership style to solve it. The operated style we suggest is transactional leadership. Transformational style is when the leaders inspire and giving a motivate to their teams to achieve extraordinary outcome and personal growth by creating a compelling vision and fostering innovation. The importance of transformational leadership style. First one is inspire motivation and commitment. When a leader inspires volunteers with a strong vision, such as reminding them that the Mercy Malaysia mission goes beyond medical aid and touches human dignity and compassion, it strengthens their emotional connection to the work. Over time, volunteers begin to see humanitarian service not just a work short-term activity, but as a meaningful part of their identity. They internalize values such as empathy, respect, integrity, and resilience. Second, the important is build stronger relationship and loyalty. Strong relationships are created through open honest communication. Transparency remove fears, reduce misunderstanding, and strengthen unity within the team. Number 3, the important is increase organization performance, such as effective communication, reducing a mistake, build a trust, and ensure everyone moves in the same direction. A transparent organization performs better because people know what is happening and what they need to achieve. After that, we choosing World Wildlife Fund or WWF Malaysia for a real world case study. WWF Malaysia utilizes a transformational leadership style by providing an inspirational vision and clear direction. WWF Malaysia overarching vision is reversing the decline of nature and transforming Malaysia into a sustainable nation by 2030. This is clear, compelling goal serves to inspire and motivate all stakeholders ranging from local communities and conservationists to government agencies and corporations to actively work together towards this shared future. Transformational leaders inspire changes by articulating a desirable future and developing forward into leaders themselves, which is evident in WWF efforts to mobilize a nation around conservation.
Now I'm going to talk about what is management trend. A management trend refers to a modern pattern or direction in how organizations are run, reflecting the evolving practices managers adopt to stay effective and competitive in a challenging environment. These trends emerge as organizations respond to new technologies, economic shifts, workforce expectations, and global challenges. Management trends often guide how leaders make decisions, motivate employees, allocate resources, and improve overall performance. This includes digital transformation, data-driven decision-making, financial diversification, employee well-being initiatives, and sustainability practices. By following current management trends, organizations can adapt more quickly, remain relevant, and enhance their ability to achieve long-term goals. Moving on to key trends affecting in Mercy Malaysia. The first aspect is finances. This aspect focusing on funding challenges and diversification. Mercy Malaysia operates in an environment where financial stability is crucial for sustaining long-term humanitarian initiatives. However, the organisation faces significant funding challenges due to increasing competition among NGOs, fluctuating donor priorities, and global economic uncertainties. These factors make traditional fundraising methods less predictable, especially during periods without major disasters. As a result, Mercy Malaysia must diversify its funding sources by strengthening corporate partnerships, expanding public fundraising campaigns, and developing long-term donor engagement strategies. This diversification is essential not only to ensure operational continuity but also to enhance Mercy Malaysia's ability to respond rapidly and effectively during emergencies. By improving its financial resilience, Mercy Malaysia can maintain high-impact programs and extend its support to vulnerable communities across Malaysia and beyond. The next aspect is technology. This aspect focusing on technological advancement. Rapid technological advancement are reshaping the humanitarian landscape, and Mercy Malaysia must adapt to keep pace with these changes. Technology plays an increasingly important role in areas such as digital data collection, remote health service, volunteer management, and public communication. Tools like mobile assessment app, telemedicine platform, and digital mapping system enable Mercy Malaysia to conduct faster and deliver essential service to remote or underserved population. At the same time, social media and digital campaigns have become powerful tools for raising awareness and mobilizing public support. However, integrating this technological solution also requires investment in training, cybersecurity, and updated infrastructure. By embracing technology, Mercy Malaysia can significantly improve the efficiency, accuracy, and reach of its humanitarian operations. Last but not least, the third aspect is health. This aspect focusing on mental health and psychosocial support. In recent years, mental health has become a central concern in both national and global public health agendas, which directly influence Mercy Malaysia's program priorities. The increasing prevalence of stress, trauma, and psychological distress, especially following disasters, the COVID-19 pandemic, and socio-economic pressures, has highlighted the importance of mental health and psychosocial support (MHPSS). Mercy Malaysia has responded by expanding its mental health initiatives, offering psychosocial first aid, community counselling, and emotional support programs for vulnerable groups such as refugees, disaster survivors, and frontline workers. These shifts reflects a broader recognition that humanitarian aid must go beyond physical health to address emotional and psychological well-being. By strengthening its mental health services and training more specialized personnel, Mercy Malaysia ensures that its intervention are holistic, long-term, and better aligned with the evolving needs of the communities it serves.
Next, I will explain about challenges and risks faced by Mercy Malaysia. So the first challenges and risks is funding instability. Mercy Malaysia relies heavily on public donation and corporate sponsorship like occasional government or international grants. However, this funding is not always stable. Donation often increase during major disaster like floods or pandemic but decrease during short period. This creates a cycle of abundance and scarcity. So what is the impact? The impact is funding instability makes it difficult to plan a long-term project. For example, Mercy Malaysia may want to establish permanent health program in rural areas, but without guaranteed funding, this initiative risks being discontinued. It is also affect the ability to stockpile emergency supplies or maintain trained staff. For the example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, donations so high because people were aware of the crisis. But once the pandemic subsided, donation drops significantly, leaving Mercy Malaysia struggling to sustain ongoing health programs. So secondly, the challenges and risks is volunteer management. Volunteers are the backbone of Mercy Malaysia. They provide medical expertise, logistic support, and manpower during mission. However, managing volunteers is challenging because they come from diverse backgrounds with different skill level, availability, and expectation. So the issue is limited training opportunity. Volunteer may not be fully prepared for disaster zones. And for the impact, poor volunteer management affect efficiency. For example, if volunteers are not properly trained in emergency response, they may intentionally slow down operation, or even put themselves at risk. For example, in flood relief mission, volunteers may arrive eager to help but without proper training in logistics or medical care. This can overwhelm the professional staff and reduce the overall effectiveness of the mission. So the suggestion improvement for Mercy Malaysia that we discussed, the first one is partner with use AI for need assessment and logistics. It's like artificial intelligence AI, so the AI can change the way humanitarian work is done. AI can study information from weather reports, satellite picture and social media to predict where disaster might happen. This helps Mercy Malaysia get ready with resources before the disaster strikes. So the benefit use AI is faster check. AI can quickly show which area are hit the hardest and what help is needed. The second is better delivery. AI can plan the best routes for aid, saving time and money. And the last one, the clear tracking. Digital system make sure donation and supplies are recorded, reducing misuse. For the example, if there is a flood, AI can look at satellite picture to find villages cut off by water. Mercy Malaysia can then send boats or helicopter to those places first. AI can also suggest the quickest route for truck carrying medicine, avoiding block paths. The last one is partner with university and tech firm. Working with university gives Mercy Malaysia access to research, new ideas and student volunteers. Universities can run training, workshop and course in humanitarian work. Tech company can share their skill in apps and digital system to make operations smoother. So the benefit is university provide and graduates eager to learn and help. Tech firm can build apps for volunteer coordination, donating tracking and disaster mapping. Partnership, and the last one is partnership bring more funding as universities and companies may sponsor project. For the example, Mercy Malaysia could team up with UiTM to train students in disaster response. This student can then join mission as skilled volunteers. Or Mercy Malaysia could work with Microsoft or Google to create an app that shows real-time aid distribution.
In conclusion, Mercy Malaysia is more than just an NGO. It is a symbol of Malaysia's compassion and professionalism. Despite challenges in funding and volunteer management, they continue to save lives and uphold humanitarian values. Their work enhances Malaysia's reputation globally, showing that our nation contributes to humanity beyond our borders. Supporting Mercy Malaysia means supporting humanity itself. They remind us that in times of crisis, values like compassion, fairness and solidarity matter more than anything else. Mercy Malaysia helps humanity by providing immediate medical and humanitarian relief during crisis and implementing a holistic approach that integrates short-term aid with long-term resilience, building and sustainable development to empower vulnerable communities.
Thank you. That's all from Group 2.